Hi,
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good. Meeting after long, long, long time.
I know it's been a long time, huh?
Yes. How are you doing?
Very well. So you had a trip to back home, huh?
Yes. I went to my brother's wedding, and it was
Yeah.
awesome.
And you got to visit with your nephew?
Yes. He's like a cute kid, and
Yeah.
he's growing. He's like 7 months old now. So, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just keeping to myself, really.
Mm-hmm.
Backed off of the whole Instagram scene and everything else, and let me see.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, cute. I saw some pictures that you were posting,
Yeah.
a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't been on very much.
What? I didn't get it.
I haven't been on very much.
Yeah. I also I'm not very active since like last month or so.
Yeah.
So
Well, you were on vacation and visiting and stuff, so that's
yeah, after that also I don't know uh, a jet lag. After that I didn't felt I'm sick for like 1 week, cough and cold. Now I'm okay. So but still I missed my morning routine. So that's why I'm keeping myself, and I'm coming back to that routine because I'm when I missed all these days, I'm not liking myself. That's what I noticed. I'm doing some work on YouTube, not very active on Instagram, but still I'm not yeah, you have that potential, you are not utilizing your time. That's what like my inner thought is saying.
yeah, and you beat yourself up for it, huh?
Yes, so that's why I'm like, I just messaged you. Like, I thought of doing these interviews or conversations with people since like 1 or 2 weeks, but I don't know. I'm keeping myself and making excuses, but but still, I'm doing some work on YouTube stuff. Like, I'm editing and I'm scheduling the things, but still I'm not uh, having conversations. That's
Right.
when I have conversations that really give me energy. That's what I really noticed when I did like continuous interviews during Christmas holidays. So it gave me like so much of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So that's what you get back to, huh?
yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, you are my first guest, and you, because I also, but yeah, recently I did like 2 interviews. I did a podcast with Lynn, and also I did a small Instagram live with Cyrus Webb. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, he interviewed me. So I did both of this. So that's why I decided to come back, and that too with you, because I asked you for like the transformation thing very long back. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I thought of asking you. And today afternoon, I'm doing another interview.
Good. So you're back. You're pretty much back at it, huh?
Yes.
That's good.
So how are you doing? Like how was your life? Like why you decided to quit all? Like what are you doing? So
I decided to stop doing life coaching because I found myself in a position of being acting in a codependent way
okay.
where I wasn't coming from the right place.
Mm-hmm.
I liked I liked the one-on-ones and stuff, and when we actually talked,
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't feel like I started realizing that I had things I wanted to put together, like let's try this next week or something, and they would sit right next to me, and I would never get to them.
Okay.
So it started making me realize, well, maybe this isn't my passion. Maybe I'm just, you just got to feel your way through life. And I just kind of finally ended up figuring out that the path I was going on wasn't exactly the path I want to be on.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to pursue it to where it got so big. You know, I feel blessed that I could tell early on. I just only had like 4 clients, you and 3 other people,
Mm-hmm.
and I was starting to maybe pick up one or more here and there, and then we would never actually meet. But I found myself feeling obligated to follow and read and like every single post from every single person. And then searching for new clients, I thought, well, I'm going to research these people and see if I feel that I could help them, and then contact them to see if they want to do coaching.
Mm-hmm.
But it all became just too overwhelming and,
Okay.
and, and very obligatory, like it was something I had to do. And I'm not looking for something I have to do. I'm looking for a passion thing that drives me, that, like you say, when you interview people, it gives you energy. And I can't say I didn't enjoy it, and I don't, I really do. I love speaking with people one-on-one, and it's great, but I just don't feel that arena that I was in exactly fit my passion. So I just backed off of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I found through reading A Course in Miracles,
Mm-hmm.
I feel, um, I feel like what it's saying is like, wow, this is what it's, this is what, because I was raised Christian,
Mm-hmm.
um, this is this is what Jesus meant. This is what it's all about. This is it. When I read it, it kind of feels like this is home. This is it feels like the words that are written are written from somebody who is so in love with somebody that they want to show them so gently and so lovingly the right way, never judging and never condemning, and just the way I felt like Jesus and Christianity, or the Christ consciousness, is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what I was taught, and it's not what I read, like in the Bible and stuff. It's a dual. It's all about duality. Like there's a good and an evil, and A Course in Miracles is not like that. There's one, and it closely resembles, in my opinion, like Hindu
Mm-hmm.
religion, because I read Autobiography of a Yogi,
Okay.
and with Yoginanda,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's his name, the author.
Mm-hmm.
That was fascinating to me, and all of the things that he talked about in that book about what he believed. I don't know if it's exactly Hindu, but whatever he says,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, that's what I agree with also. So I basically just kind of gone back into the spiritual side of my life, and realizing that I think I was, you know, I started wondering when I was going to make money and stuff, and whatever I was doing, and I'm like, okay, well, you have to back off of that, because you know that money isn't the object. I'm at least I feel fortunate and wise enough to know that um, I'm looking for the ultimate, purpose in my life. I'm not looking for the dollar, and I'm not looking for the popularity, and I'm not looking for fame. I'm looking for God's will for my life. And to me, right now on this path at my age, discovering A Course in Miracles in the weirdest way,
Mm-hmm.
um, really it is. what I want to pursue. And I make a living. I have a job. I mean, I'm looking for a passion. And so right now, my passion, I guess, doesn't necessarily include having to post everything I'm doing in my life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, so I don't know if, I guess you could call it soul searching, but not really. I finally found what I believe is the answer. At least another step towards it, because even in the course, it says this isn't the end game. This is just another learning tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it isn't the end all. Like, you know. So anyway, that's what I've been doing.
Okay. Like, what are your thoughts at that moment? Like, you decided to, like, you said you're not liking or feeling overwhelmed at the time, and like, what are your thoughts in your inner mind? And like, are you feeling any physical pain or something like that? Like, are you feeling like a burden thing?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I was tired all the time,
Okay.
and I would just want to come home and go to sleep.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's associated with what, everything's connected. So it's got to
Yes.
be that, things that are work that are not your passion are not going to give you energy, and they're going to make you feel run down. It's going to be taking away from the charge of your battery,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to building it up. So right now, like the Course in Miracles study and the books and the people around it, that's all what I'm into, and it charges my battery.
Mm-hmm.
But the transition from feeling like I I just continually felt like a failure.
Okay.
I felt like I wasn't, and this is all in self growth as well.
Yes. Yes.
This
Exactly.
process.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I'm not good enough. It's that I didn't believe I wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
And
that, and I want to mention, like, that happened for a reason, because like you felt like you want to be, or you should be a life coach, but your soul is saying that you are not meant for that, or you are not like not yet ready for that, so it prepared
yeah,
you for that.
yeah, and it should, I definitely got a lot out of doing it. It was a wonderful experience
Mm-hmm.
to meet people I've never met before, and to talk with them and all of that. It's great. I'm not saying it won't happen again. I don't know, but
Yes.
I'm just open to wherever I feel led, and I feel like I'm getting a lot more in tune with my intuition, so that
Mm-hmm.
the next thing I'm just so not worried about money. I'm still teaching myself how to get over the retirement thing, that I
Okay.
don't have a retirement. That's why I started all this, because I don't, it was a panic mode, like I don't have any retirement. What am I going to do? To now learning, excuse me, that
Mm-hmm.
God that's going to show you what the retirement will be like. And I am making my retirement my God. I'm not trusting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning how to lay at the altar, everything, give it all to Him, and then, you know, uh, and then it will all come back through.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't happen in this lifetime. I feel like this is a big turning point in my life, or at least in this life, in favor of getting closer to enlightenment, and not having to come back here again eventually.
And after that, you also tried your skating board. I can see like a three or four.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't see my face. Yeah, yeah. So I'm
You
just
tried. As like I'm seeing any other video, but I watched it like two or three times, and you are there.
yeah. I did that for a little while. That was right around Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
right before Christmas, and then it got too dark to go, and I haven't. I skate around my garage now, and I've been making a new shaped board,
Mm-hmm.
but because I used to have a little skateboard business, so yeah, I'm just kind of feeling around to discover what brings me joy, you know,
Yes.
and it takes a little while to back off from that. There was a hum of in my life where I was on Instagram so much and so often that when you start to back away from it, you start to wonder this feels weird, you know, it's like changing a habit.
Yes, exactly.
And so like one week Lily suggested we'll just stop doing Instagram for a week, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that, you
Uh-huh.
know. But I did it, and I thought, wow, that felt. I feel more peaceful now than I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I backed off a little more and a little more, and then it 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 all just kind of shifts.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm so. I went and saw Evan Carmichael when he came here to Phoenix.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it was a horrible, horrible experience for me.
Why?
Horrible. Because I didn't really want to go anyway because I got the tickets and then I realized I'm not going to be a coach, so I'm in that, oh, poor me, well, I don't, you know, well, if not this, then what? Here we go again, you know, kind of thing. And then I thought, well, I at least have to go and say hi and, you know, meet him, shake his hand. I put on my gear, you know, my Believe Nation t-shirt and
Mm.
jacket and stuff. And me and my wife show up and we're late because I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be a coffee house session or we're meeting in the lobby of a hotel or if it's going to be a workshop.
Okay.
I don't know. Or if he's just going to talk, you know, but we got there and we were late, about 15 minutes late, and we were I saw Nina in the back of
Mm-hmm.
the room, you know, walked. And Nina's like, Tommy, and she knows me, you know,
Uh-huh.
hi,
Yeah.
Tommy. And she, we look up and he's talking and there's like 15, 20 people
Mm-hmm.
and there's no, you know, they're all spread out, but it's tables
Uh,
and they're really close and it's really like so me and my wife were shuffled like to the second to the front row.
mm-hmm.
Evan's like 7 feet away from me, and you know, I'm starstruck. I'm in awe. I'm like, oh my God, this is Evan Carmichael, and I'm looking at him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never met an internet celebrity, you
Yes.
know, that has become, you know, whatever that I respect and admire,
Mm-hmm.
and then to see it in person, you know, it's different to see it, you know, whatever. So I was starstruck, and we were shuffled in, and my wife and I were sat really where one person should have been sitting, and there was a girl next to me and a guy over here, and I didn't know it was going to be a workshop, so I didn't bring.
Any notebook or
I did bring my notebook, but my
okay.
wife did it, so she it just was very awkward, and he was talking about, you know, your one word and how to find it and stuff, and different. It was really questions from the audience that
Mm-hmm.
was saying, I like this kind of um, atmosphere as opposed to me just talking, and you know, I like
Ah.
the interaction.
Yes.
So we were talking about all different stuff, but I was. And I fully realized that what he was talking about is building a business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I'm trying to figure out how to get the hell out of here. I said I don't need to be here. It was kind of like remember Lori when she went to Toronto
Mm-hmm.
for the workshop, and she's
Ah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yes.
need to be here. So that's exactly how I felt, and As soon as I was done, as soon as it was over, I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. I didn't care about him signing my books. I just wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't even want a picture with him because I don't know. I just was fucked up in the head or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I was like I was running from the situation. My fear took me to the point inside of me where I wanted to just get the fuck out of there. I was all embarrassed and everything, and I kept saying to myself, I shouldn't have come. You know, like I'm not worthy, or I have no product. You know,
Mm-hmm.
really tearing myself up inside about it, and I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. I almost got up and just left.
Okay.
But you know, and it's after we were there, I almost like I'm thinking of ways to get out of it. Like, oh, I gotta, you know, stupid shit. So here's the finale of it all. Now afterwards, there's a meet and greet, and Evan's standing up front, and people are in line to get selfies and say hi and shake hands. And I'm headed towards the back fucking door, books in hand. I'm like, let's go. Shannon's like, don't you want to talk? No, let's go. Nina says, did you get your book signed? And I go, no. And she goes, oh, no, you can't leave without getting your book signed. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to. She takes me and my books. I almost turned around and just let her keep the fucking books and walk away. She walks up to the front of the line. Now
Okay.
says he has to go. Can you sign his books real quick? And he literally looks at Nina, looks at the crowd of people
Crab
in front
paper.
of him and goes, and I'm like, oh my God. So he signs my book and I shake his hand. It was so fucking awkward. I give him a little hug because I'm like, you know, and I fucking left. It was horrible. Nothing like I imagined it to be, you know.
Okay.
Oh,
So why? Because you don't have a business or you don't have a plan. That's why you felt like that, or is there any
yeah.
other reason?
Insecurity, starstruck,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. Fear boils down to fear. And I panicked, and
Mm-hmm.
I let the negative self-talk
Mm-hmm.
explode and make it all into a big mess. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my ego took over and whipped me around the room, and I was a starstruck little I'm not worthy child again
Mm-hmm.
in the presence of you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I made an ass out of myself, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't really outwardly noticeable. It just looked like I was a very, very quiet, shy, maybe, you know, how people are quiet, they seem stuck up. Well, I'm seeing Frank and I'm seeing all these other people that I know on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also, this is weird, you know, they're real. And it's just, it was all too much, you know, and I kind of stuck my tail between my legs and shot out the back door as quick as I could.
Mm-hmm. So, like after coming from that event, like, did you like feel that why did I do that like that? Like, do you
Of
have that?
course, yeah.
Yeah, like what you came
I,
up with
I,
the reasons?
I just told you all of them.
Like, is there any other reasons or no?
No, you're actually the very first person I've talked to about my Evan Carmichael experience, besides my wife who was there. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't talked to any of the people. I haven't reached out to, like Frank Dia. He lives in Tucson. You know, I've been following him for a while, but you know, after I saw him, and I was still so fucked up in the head from seeing Evan, and I don't know that like I didn't even reach out to anybody. I haven't even talked to nobody about it. You're the first.
Awesome. And like when you decide to stop doing the things what you are doing, like who helped you to take like a Yes, like who helped you at that moment? Who are the people?
Help me that do what?
Like who helped you to realize you're not in the right path, or you have like some other path to take?
Oh, from like a life coaching to
Uh-huh.
something else?
Yes.
I think Lily helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Lily,
Mm-hmm.
she helped me decide because I didn't. I stopped. She's not my life coach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I backed up of that because
Why?
I I don't have a thing.
Oh, okay.
And I just feel like I'm really getting all the guidance and support and growth that I need
Mm-hmm.
through my studies of A Course in Miracles and the surrounding supporting books
Mm-hmm.
around it, like Gary Renard and Disappearance of the Universe and books like that. So I honestly could say I don't miss any of it.
Okay.
uh, it's I know from being in AA that when you have a sponsor, and eventually, the sponsor, like my sponsor, got me sober. Not didn't I got me sober? God got me sober. But my first sponsor really helped me through some hard times, and then eventually, we kind of grew apart. So I tried to get another sponsor. So I felt it was kind of like that. Like I met Lily, and I wanted to do the School of Life, and I did, and I felt like I had to have something
Mm-hmm.
uh, to put all of this into. So I said, well, life coaching, why
Mm-hmm.
not? It's changed my life. I want to help others um, to realizing that that's not my passion and my path. And if I don't have that, you know, Lily helps entrepreneurs, and Lily
Yes.
is on a spiritual path for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like I needed to go and do my own thing for a while. So I pretty much, it was a gradual process. It wasn't a day-to-day thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely been over a transition period of several months that all of this is taking course. But basically, the my wife has been around to support me, and and the Course in Miracles, it says you should follow your inner guide, your inner teacher.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one.
Yes,
And
exactly.
this isn't a religion, A Course in Miracles. Excuse me. It's really just for you.
Yes.
That no one else.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's where
But
I've kind of
for the namesake, it is like related to God, but it is for yourself.
yes,
Yes.
yes. It's written in a Christian kind of
Mm-hmm.
the wording.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
It's from Jesus, but it even says this is not, it's honestly more a Buddhist. It's got the more of a Buddhist feel to it, from what people say. I'm not familiar with the Buddhist religion, but and it just seems everything it says. I've listened to it on audiobook like 1.5 times. I'm reading it. I'm studying it. I'm doing this manual for students, a
Okay.
workbook for students.
Like
It's just
what?
a one.
Yeah. So you're doing the things and you're learning from that book. So like, what are the things that you implemented and saw the real change? Like, what are the things that you did?
Subtle things like over Thanksgiving, a baby was crying, and normally that would bug the shit out of me. And it honestly, it so didn't bother me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I mindfully focused away from the baby to I'm just gonna look for something more that I can put my focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, oh, I'm going to go talk to my mom or whatever. But usually that would have been like I'm out of here. That kid will not stop crying. You know, even to the point where my mom and even my wife, who's a nanny, said that kid was bothering me.
Okay.
You know, after we left, but it didn't bother me. So there's little shifts in noticing that I'm handling things differently. I'm not so I don't get so angry. I don't I don't handle things the same way. You know, and I my whole perspective has changed because I'm realizing that that I've created all this.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I'm seeing outwardly,
Mm-hmm.
my creation, and it's not real. It's an illusion.
Okay.
In the big picture of things, this is just a tiny little portion of who we are. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not such a big deal. You know, and whatever is happening, joy or you know, bad times or things that minute to minute, thought to thought. You know, I've really been working on getting to work without getting mad at someone. You know, I think it's a great place to start to work on your inner self because you act different when you're in your car.
Yes.
And I think thoughts, you know, so I've really been, you know, just implementing the things. You really have to do it. You can read a book and you can say, oh, that was a good book. It had great principles. But if you don't apply them,
Yes. You can't understand like what really they are saying.
you
And
can get education constipation,
mm-hmm.
but you have to apply
Yes,
what you've learned.
exactly.
Because I'm kind of good at that. I love to take in the information, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't ever act on it, you know.
Okay.
But this, I'm really doing it. I go through I mean, they make it so easy. There's on the they have an app. You just
Mm.
look over the daily lesson, and it tells you. It has reminders. That's another thing I think I'm getting closer is because I'm realizing meditation is huge,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you actually, you know, everything I'm learning is you got to spend quiet time with God, you know, and listen. And it's not all the foxhole prayers, and you know, your inner voice will talk to you and guide you, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the Holy Spirit, and that's the only thing you're supposed to hear. The other one is the ego, and it's trying to tell you no, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have that inner voice in us that says, you know, and I think I've finally awoken to that fact and seen that it doesn't have to be that way.
Mm.
How I thought it had to be, I'm realizing it doesn't have to be that way. It's so much better, and it's so much. It just feels right, you know. It's
And
like the truth path.
in the past, like we had like so many conversations in that you like mentioned or you said like I'm not much into religion thing, but now you are like coming into spiritual way. Like what like difference? Because there are so much difference in your thought, in your like way of behaving.
What physically now you can tell, or there's a religion. Religion is not bad, but I'm not into it. I grew up religious, Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and what religion is. Somebody I just heard it. They said Christianity is is what people have taken Christ's teachings, and Christian religion is what the people have done to it.
Okay.
In other words, they've turned it into you know, something that it wasn't really meant to be, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay. Okay.
It's twisted. It's uh,
It's
man's version
it's
of
like a man's creation.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not. I mean, I'm thankful for my religious upbringing because it exposed me to at least something.
Okay.
Although I'm kind of learning that it might have been better if I had no religion upbringing,
Mm-hmm.
because then I don't have to. Basically, the Course in Miracles is teaching you how to remember who you are.
Okay.
Remember what you really are, and this ain't it, sister.
Mm-hmm.
This is we are so much more than this, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to remember that. So A Course in Miracles teaches you how to unlearn. First, the whole first parts of it are how to unlearn
Mm-hmm.
what we've learned. We
Mm-hmm.
have to forget all that, remember,
And
you know.
yes, and now you're working like so much on your thoughts, like every minute and every second. Like, do you believe that thoughts become things?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Like, is there any example that you have, like, you thought like daily and it came into life?
Of course, yeah. That earlier on, I put the law of attraction into practice. With
Mm-hmm. Yes.
we manifested my wife's vehicle, and I got $1 an hour raise. So I don't know. After that, I kind of realized that maybe I should be uh, bringing into thoughts or things. It's energy. It's real. Thoughts. I should probably be concentrating on bigger things than stuff.
Okay.
And get to the root of it, where I can learn. If I'm a creative being along with my God, I want to create, first of all, correctly and properly and truly as best I can,
Mm-hmm.
and not worry about where the stuff comes from.
Mm-hmm.
If it's such a powerful thing, our mind, I want
Mm-hmm.
to use. I fuck up everything I do. So if I'm going to learn how to work my mind, I want someone else to show me. you know.
Yeah. And you said like you're going to meet a doctor or a therapist kind of person who records you like all your thoughts, like all.
Oh, my hypnotherapy session.
Yeah, yeah, hypnotherapy. You went to that?
I did.
Okay.
It was nothing like I did the same thing with Evan as I did with her. I thought it was going to be something else.
Okay.
Sat there and tried to get into it, and really, really let myself be hypnotized. And what ended up happening was that I basically hyperventilated because
Mm-hmm.
I was breathing for like 2 hours.
Okay.
I felt all like my hands and my feet were tingly, and different like pains in my back and stuff, and I just never felt. I had no past lives, or if I did, I wasn't saying I wasn't. I don't feel I was ready to be hypnotized. If it works, it didn't work for me. Not
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah, yeah.
with And I'm not saying it's anybody's fault but my own. I don't think I allowed myself to be hypnotized because I think I was expecting something else out of it. Like, it could have been a wonderful experience with Evan and Nina, and we could have all taken pictures and we could have hung out and talked and chat. But no, I let my mind take it over. So she offered to give me another free session because I kind of felt like I wasn't hypnotized.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I think you were. And I listened to the whole recording of it, and I just felt like, because listening to my recording of it,
Mm-hmm.
I breathed with it again.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me breathing, and I felt the same things again. Like, that's what happens when you hyperventilate. You get dizzy. So it also, though, it helps me to realize it doesn't really matter. I believe in reincarnation. It doesn't have to happen that I visit a past life or whatever. I don't need that for proof. I believe it. So, and that's not really where it's at. Like, I was so interested in it at one point, I thought, well, should I become a hypnotherapist? You know, should I pursue or go and get the training for that? Because it's interesting to me. And but reading A Course in Miracles, I'm finding that that's this world, this life, even it doesn't even matter how many lives you've had. That's still not even the end game. That's like, so I don't want to concentrate on. That's not my department, you know. I know that there's a lot of healing that can come through that, and people have gotten a lot of it out of it, but I don't feel like that's my path. That's so, you know, I'm just looking for my path, and so far, A Course in Miracles is it for hopefully forever, but it's definitely been a wonderful eye-opener.
Okay, so you're feeling it as your friend.
I feel like I've been reintroduced to someone I've known for a very long time, and that's Jesus. Because if he wrote this book through a scribe, Helen Schuchner, I think. I'm
Okay.
not real good. I'm still good at it, but anyway, if 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 it is Jesus that wrote this book, it's awesome. It's like remembering an old friend or somebody who just you know, you just get a feeling like you've known someone before.
Okay, yes,
Because
you are like treating him as your positive energy friend, like that who is teaching you.
yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The Holy Spirit, you know,
Yes, yes.
and apparently Jesus himself. So,
Awesome.
and I can't, you know, I can see, I could see somebody being able to write that parts of it, but not all of it. I mean, it's even written in like Shakespeare was written in 10 syllable stanzas or something like that, and this was also that written that way. It's just too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the first thing that my first concern about reading a book like that was that it was channeled,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly. You know, I don't think they like to use that word channeling. I don't know. You know, voices from the beyond were in a Christian world were taking over your body, and you know, and so we were told to stay away from that kind of stuff. You know, that's evil. You're opening the portholes to evil. Well, that was my biggest concern, but I thought let me give the content a chance
Mm-hmm.
to see. After a few, you know, no time at all, the content, it doesn't matter where it came from. Who cares? This is good stuff, you know. So you can learn to accept that, and then to listen to autobiography of a yogi in the Hindu religion and where he came from. It's so much more accepted, you know. Getting visiting with, you know, that this physical world isn't it, you know. You can, there's different aspects to it.
Mm-hmm. And like, what about your smoking journey? Quit smoking journey.
I started smoking again.
Okay.
I actually started smoking again when I quit coaching, and I was giving myself the boo-hoo, fuck it. So I started again slowly, and my wife, she said she was ready to quit, and I don't know. I'm smoking. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking of quitting again, but I don't know. I told her I'm not quitting again until you quit. Like, if when you are ready to quit, I will quit with you. But I've tried to quit on my own so many times, and she has continued to smoke that I don't know. That honestly is just an excuse for me to not to have to think about it right now. I'll
Okay.
quit when you quit, you know. So yeah, bottom line is I'm smoking again.
But what are the like? What about number of cigarettes? Like, has it reduced down, or are you still like?
There's a lot less, amazingly.
Okay.
I don't crave it as much, so I have that the outlook on it has changed, has shifted. So,
Yes.
or another thing I'm seeing proof of is that the teachings work is because when when you when you handle your challenges or whatever correctly, like you don't try to fight them,
Mm-hmm.
you recognize them and you basically you deal with them, you handle them, they just kind of fade away.
Mm-hmm.
The desire just kind of disappears. So the energy changes around that smoking consciousness, you know, and eventually it just fades away. And hopefully, if I make it so, I suppose, right?
Like in the past, how many do you take like a daily? Now, like how much it got reduced?
I would say I've gone, not by much, but I've gone from probably about a pack a day in a
Mm-hmm.
24-hour period, like a pack I could start with in the morning and it would last until the next morning, but I would have to grab a pack for that day, to maybe, honestly, half to three-quarters of a pack a day.
Okay.
So maybe, 50%,
Yeah,
70.
but it's good. Yeah.
And I'm comfortable. I'm okay with it. My biggest thing is I know I started smoking again because I'm just tired of beating myself up. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of how I handled myself
Mm-hmm.
in controversy. I'm the meanest person I know to me.
Mm-hmm.
So and Lily helped me realize that from early on, that I am my own worst enemy. I'm too hard on myself. So I just decided, okay, I'm not going to be hard on myself anymore. And if I smoke, I'm not going to give myself a guilt trip about it. And if I have the desire to cut back or quit again in the future, I'm just going to kind of let that happen. Um, and we'll see how it goes from there, because I need to learn how to not be so hard on myself before I can honestly handle any more life-changing experiences in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was learning how to change and do things in a positive way and in a life-changing experiences, but the old baggage I was carrying along with it was was making my intuition blurred. So basically, I kind of feel like I've stepped back to handle that old baggage where I can be open and receptive to whatever God has for me.
Because you set like so much expectations on yourself. That is the reason.
Too much. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't handle it.
Okay.
I can't handle me. The man, the mask of masculinity, the man
Mm-hmm.
that talks to you and says, "Suck it up, Thrasher, be a man, do it." That guy. I have to learn how to uh, turn it into love and acceptance, and there's no judgment. I am my worst judge, and then to realize God doesn't judge me, and I'm not going to hell. It's really a freeing experience. And then it's like, okay, things can be handled differently.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have, I don't have to think this way anymore. And I'm not attacking myself or badgering myself or kicking myself. I'm learning how to pick myself up and you know, find motivation in a different way. Not a motivation of fear, but a motivation of love.
Now, are you having fears? Are you still having fears inside you, or
Not a lot.
okay?
I feel, of course I have anxiety. What about, of course, but I have an answer now. Something has clicked in me where I know how to handle that now. Like, hey,
Okay.
that's not real. I have the tools.
Okay.
So it it gradually over time becomes easier and easier to handle those things that used to really get me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck that, my day's fucked. To now, choose again. You know, there's a different way. You don't. You're fucking miserable right now, aren't you? Yes. Choose again. Just
So,
choose again.
so you are
It
talking to
doesn't have to be
yourself.
right choice. Just don't choose that one.
Yes.
And then you know you back away from that and you learn that everything is just a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need that lesson. It goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So
And like, are you still working on your like a savings? Because I know you started working on savings for the retirement, and so.
no, that went to the shitter. I have the app still. I no.
Okay.
We're back to the way we were in finances again.
Okay.
So no.
But you're good with it. No, like
You know,
expectations or guilty feeling.
I'll tell you what. My wife and I I had a realization with her one night. I said, you know, we need to do the budget. We need to get, you know, every day. And I said, I was just honest with her. I
Mm-hmm.
said, honestly, I don't want to do the budget right now because she's like, oh, let's go have a cigarette and then we'll do it, you know. So while we're out there, I said, I don't want to do the budget. And I feel like we make it. You know, we're not doing great, but we're not starving. We can still go out to dinner. We make a living. We have a life. We have a nice car. We have a nice house. We have all of the you know, first world problems everybody else has. But and that's there's no motivation or reason. So
Mm-hmm.
am I snowing myself to say, oh, shine it on? I don't have, you know, this is the only way to. I just don't believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that saving money at age 50 is going to get me where I want to go um, in, in my later years. It's too late for me. I can't I can't save enough, but I can get into the saving mindset.
Okay.
But I'm not. I haven't, so no.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what is your real insecurity? Like, what are your insecurities?
Fear of, you know, honestly, it used to be my biggest fear is what other people thought about me.
Okay.
And it still is. It's close second. But now my biggest fear is that that I'm too stubbornly lazy to put into action the things that I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly my biggest fear. I really don't have. Honestly, I really don't believe. I know I made up the fear, if there is any.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really afraid of anything.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in my whole life, I'm not afraid of it because it doesn't matter. You know, there isn't the one life and it ends, and you're not going to be judged. And you know, growing up for 50, 40 some years believing that, and then realizing that there is a different way, and that I can allow myself to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
What do I got to fear? I'm coming back if I need to take care of my karmic energy, and and it's okay, you know. It just comes down just love. That's it, just love.
And you said you have a fear of like what other people think about you, but we can't control what exactly or what they are thinking. So
Exactly. And
yeah.
in all reality, apparently, I made you up, right?
Uh-huh.
You're in my world. Well, you know, it's in the movie camera. Not real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's all it's how you see it. It's your perspective. So if I'm having a problem or a wonderful time with you, I made it up. in a
Yes,
way.
yes, exactly.
Whether that be a forethought if I have an intention to have a good conversation with RJ,
Mm-hmm.
or it just comes through, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's what's your mindset. And it sounds to me when I'm hearing myself talk to you, because I haven't talked to anybody about this except my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it sounds like all of the old things that I've heard said, a lot of the old things that you believe, but they're just slightly different to me. I've had a paradigm shift a
Yes,
little bit,
yes,
you know.
exactly. Because that's how I felt when I started learning or loving myself, or when I started loving my insecurities.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I first started with The Secret. That really helped me. Like, I am not saying it's like a very good book, but it really helped me that if I believe in something, I can do it, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whatever because I can say example that I just didn't I didn't read it, and I'm not saying for a motivational thing or not. I just I implemented it in my life because I manifested. I wrote everything on a sticky note. Like when I'm reading that book, I was like, I'm working on my brother's wedding. I already told you that. I'm working on that thing, and I manifested yes, he need to get married with this girl, and we must have a family. My family should accept that, and I wrote it down, and I worked with each and every person in my family to make it happen,
Wow.
and it
So it
happened.
worked.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it happened. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, and also another thing is, yeah, when I why I read that book is when I at that time I joined I started my job at that time, and I'm feeling like I'm missing something or I'm feeling bored. When I
Yeah.
feel bored, I watch movies a lot, but I want something else. So I picked that secret book, and I started reading it for in month. I completed that book, and after that I started implementing it. In that book, I read if you there is they mentioned there will be like a secret check. In their website, we'll get that check, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I printed one.
yeah, I printed that. Yes, and I printed that, and I wrote I want this much of amount as my salary, as my like uh, so and I pasted in my cube, in my office cube, and
Yeah.
I pasted it as a just for the reminder, but I did the work to get it there, to get that
Of
paid.
course.
Yes, and after 4 or 5 months, I got that. I reached that thing.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's great.
So I
That's
felt,
amazing.
yeah, I felt
So it
like
works. You know it works.
yes, and from that moment, I started realizing and I started listening to my own thoughts. That really gave me yes, you're thinking in that way. Why don't you think in other way, and let's see how it goes. and and also I can say, I can mention there are so many moles on my face, like a black marks. So when I'm in my a bachelor's engineering, when I'm doing college in India, so many people I used to have so much of hair on my hands also. So many people close relatives or so many people around me like gave me suggestion or insisted me to visit a doctor to take out these. But at that time, I listened to their words and I visited doctor, and she said it looks very nice on your face. I'm not going to do anything to your on your face. And so but this year, like last year in 2018, when I started looking my face in a mirror and when I started loving myself,
Yeah.
I really love my face and I really love my smile, and I really like love the smile in other people. That's what attracts me to the other people.
Yes.
Yeah. And when I started loving myself, when I started loving this insecurities, small things, because these small things only like accumulate into big insecurities, big fears.
Right.
Yes. And when I started seeing my face every morning in the mirror, and I started speaking to myself, like, yes, you are so much beautiful. I really smile at myself in the mirror and I talk to myself that you are doing great. You did, you spoke to so many people that you really don't know. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing like you're facing your fear and you are really loving it. I also like worked on myself. Like, am I really loving what I'm doing? I wrote all of those thoughts, and I said like, for that questions, I said yes. And if I feel overwhelmed or if I feel like I still want to do more work, I slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. That's good.
Hmm.
Take a step back and see.
Yes, step back and see, and yes, it feel like a first couple of days, like a 3 4 days, it really feels like I'm missing something or that, but I'm like I worked on my thoughts.
Yes.
Yes, and also at that time only I spoke to Jayraj. He said, if you work on your schedule, why you are judging yourself? So that's what really making you giving you this feeling. So
Of judgment.
yes, like I'm judging myself, like I can do more work, like I'm keeping,
Right.
yeah, more
Very
expectation.
true.
Yes, I'm doing work, so much work, but still I'm not loving it. Like I'm judging each and everything, like and for example I can say, um when I started this YouTube thing and interviews, like I stopped, or I'm spending less time on watching movies. Even if I watch movies, I'm getting thoughts like, am I wasting time on watching movies? I'm not really enjoying that moment. But
Right.
like when I start movie, I'm getting all those thoughts. But when I actually start and watching movie, I'm like really enjoy that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're just noticing what your thoughts are.
yes, and after that, I started like, no, don't judge. If you really don't want to do that thing at that moment, don't do it. Do it when you really feel, because if you really want to do something, you will finish it in less than the time. Like if you are doing it in 1 hour, if you really have that energy, if you really have that like a good thing, you will finish it in less than 1 hour or less than like 45 minutes. So that's what I'm like realizing all those things.
Yeah. Sounds like you've been on a big path yourself.
Yes. But when I tell these things to people, because in India it's like when I tell all these things to people, they feel like I'm saying bored things, or because I, there the people's thinking is different. I'm not like judging them, or I'm not blaming them, but what my inner self is feeling is, I don't have like a friend who listens to me or who thinks like me. That's what like so many times I felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way a lot too. Like, and it's even more isolating when you realize, well, you're your only inner teacher. The only teacher you need to follow is the one inside of you. You don't need anybody. Not that they're saying you don't need anybody, but it's so it seems lonely.
Yes, exactly, because after that I started like listening to myself, but my parents like they are not like opposing me in any of the manner. So I'm like, yes, I'm when I tell something, they are also taking in a good manner. They are like now they are understanding it. Like my brothers are understanding it, and I'm like telling them in a nice manner where they can understand like how I changed myself because why I'm talking like this or all these things. But
Right,
still,
because they see a big difference in you.
yeah, but still, I'm like working on some things or working on my family. And yeah, when I went to India, so many people, like my family people, they're talking about my YouTube thing. Because it's like not a normal thing for our family or for any Indian girl.
Right.
Yeah. So and also one like the happiest thing is I did live with Instagram live with my mom.
Oh, good.
Yes. And she really loved it because like when she is making something, like she is making a pickle for me to get like to carry with me. And at that time I showed the process of like how she is making and explained it. And I also showed her like I told her that so many people from America, Canada, like many people are watching you. And she really felt that she really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yes.
Maybe a cooking show, huh?
Yes, yes. Because she's like really good cook. So
Yeah, that's great.
yes, now I'm like yes, I'm in the right path. And yes, things are going good now. It takes times to settle to get to that path. Yes.
It does.
Hmm. And now
Yeah.
I have like so many ideas so that I can work with my brothers. Like I got recently I watched Evan's live like past 2 days back. He's talking to Mark Drager, his friend, and they started their own like a podcast channel. Like they both talk about entrepreneurs and all the like what are the things on entrepreneurship. And I got that thought like I can, why don't I start with my brother, just like sharing what are your thoughts on this, like what are your views on this, how like
Yeah.
yeah. So I got that thought, and at that moment I messaged him saying that I want to start a daily podcast show, like just like casual conversation with you.
And he said, okay,
Yes. So
good. You're doing it, huh?
yes.
Awesome.
So I'm working on topics so that we can we can have like a at least 15 to 30 minutes of conversation. So
So what are your bigger goals now? Now that you know this secret works and this law of attraction thing, and that you've seen some changes in your life,
mm-hmm.
what's the next step?
Like right now I'm like going through so many challenges with my visa thing and all, but I'm not really worried about it because I already told my brothers, and like I may come to India anytime because yeah. And
You got to
also
be open to it.
yes. Yes. And also like I have, even if I go to India, I want to do these interviews with the people in my community or the people I know, because I know that timings are different, but I want to make it happen because I'm really loving it.
I
And
can tell.
yes.
You start talking about it, and you get a little more passionate.
Yes.
That's good.
And I'm started loving it. And I also like want to show, not a show, like I don't want to prove to anybody. I want to, like I'm learning myself, like I can say. And this example, when I did the first interview with you, I prepared for 3 to 4 hours, and I'm like very tensed what to ask. I wrote like a list of questions, like should I ask him about his education, or did I misspell anything, or my is my grammar good in my question. Oh, wow. That gave me
Too
so,
much, huh?
yeah, yeah, so much of anxiety, nervousness, and all that thing. But now I just walked from my apartment. I came and I call you. That's it.
And it went just as well, huh?
Yes, yes. It may have mistakes, but I'm like facing it. I'm for like going with the flow.
Of course. Yes,
Yes,
that's the way you should go.
yes,
I I think it's a better just to like saying just be yourself, but that means something different to me now. Like you don't have to prepare, although preparing is good, but you'll find your balance in there.
yes. And also, you asked about my bigger goals.
Yeah.
Like I want to interview, not interview, I want to have conversation with like cancer patients, because they really know like what exactly the importance of life.
Yeah, when you're faced with those kinds of things.
Yes,
There's a
so
good do you have Netflix?
no.
There's a movie on it called Heal.
Okay.
I don't know how else you would see it, but it's people that are cancer survivors and the different problems. One lady has boils on her skin all over,
Okay.
and so they go through different kinds of healings and chemo and everything, and all the way into seeing spiritual gurus that heal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good documentary. It might be on YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah, and I want to have conversation with them, and also I want to conversation with like inspirational people at the same time, like a normal people who are doing like a good things. So I want to explore that area. I have those thoughts, but I really want to implement it. I really want to do at least one and see how I'm doing it, and as am I able to continue it or not. So that's what I really want to. And I also I can't do in a with like a single, so I want my family help or brothers help to do that, because I need to travel more. So I'm working on that. And in the meantime, I also need to get married. So that's like a big thing.
It sounds like it's a bigger thing to somebody, maybe somebody else than you, huh?
Yeah.
That's like third on the list, right?
But that is also like a priority in my life, because the other person who comes into my life, I really want the person who understand my thoughts and understand what I'm doing. So the purpose
Well, the
behind it.
only way to make that happen is to start seeing all the boys. All the You have
Yes.
to give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
All the people that your parents pick, right?
Uh-huh.
Or however it works, I don't know. But whoever's coming down the pike, you need to get them going again, because you gotta interview them, see if they're up to snuff. Nah, uh, I said good day.
And now with the finances thing, I'm okay with, because I'm right now I don't have so much love to materialistic things, or so much love to I want to make this much of I don't have that uh, love and attraction towards money, because I cleared all my debts, and now I'm working on we bought land in our place, so I'm working on that thing. I want to,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to clear those things. So
So
if
there's a lot less stress around finances for you too.
what?
lot less stress, anxiety. There's not as much, huh?
Not as much because I told myself even if I don't have money, I can survive. Uh, I can do any work. I'm not like I don't want to judge the work I do for living because I'm doing other things
Right.
for my happiness.
Who you are is not your job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
And also, I want to mention one point. Yeah, recently I got when I went to India on that day, I got monetization approval from YouTube.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Awesome.
And 2 days back only, I submitted documents and it got verified, and now it is waiting for the address approve verification.
That's awesome.
So
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's taken a while, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's been quite a process, hasn't it? You had to clean up your website and they kicked, all of that crap
Yeah,
after you go over
yeah,
and stuff or whatever.
because when I started this channel, I'm not much into this interviews or making videos. I just edited some videos and I put it on. So that's why when I cleaned up, and it really cleared my mind also.
Yeah,
Yeah, I deleted almost so many videos that are not mine, or so that it really gave me, it took time to enter into this process, but I really learned so much.
good.
And because
It
it
was,
got rejected for 2 times, I guess, then third time I got approval.
yeah. And you probably could have quit or felt like it a couple of times.
But
Yeah, forget it. You probably thought about just quitting a couple of times when they
yes,
kept making it so difficult. But it was like a cleaning of the house. You cleaned house and you cleaned your mind out too. It's like refreshing.
yes, uh, like uh, I may feel it's not my thing. I can quit at that moment, like when they rejected me for the first time or second time. But I'm not like that. I have that confidence. Yes, I can make it. I have that big ambition. So it's going to work.
I have that big ambition. It's gonna work.
Yes.
That's right. You do.
Yes, and also decided what I make on YouTube, I want to spend half of that amount on uh, giving it to people who are in need, serving, because on my birthday my family members donated breakfast for street children, they went to a trust.
Yeah.
uh,
That's awesome.
yeah, they
That was
say
your birthday?
good. I really enjoyed that moment. That,
Good.
yeah. So
That's what it's all about, huh?
yes, because I saw smiles 60 children, small girls, from the age of 3 or 4 to age of 12 to 15. They clapped for me and they said happy birthday for serving that breakfast. And
That's
also,
the best present.
yeah, and I made them happy for that moment. That really made me,
Exactly.
yeah, that really made me happy.
Yeah. Awesome. So have you figured out what you're gonna do with it? Where are you gonna put it, or are you just setting it aside half of your proceeds from your monetization?
um
Is this your
I did, yeah,
school?
i didn't have like I didn't have a real plan for that, but I decided in my mind, but I'm really gonna do that. I don't know how, where I want to spend, so I'm making yes, I'm gonna spend for, especially I want to spend it for children. That's my main criteria that I put in my mind. So I really
Yeah,
want to work towards it.
that's good.
Mhm.
Maybe just take that money and send it to your parents and say, "Go feed those kids again."
Yeah, they did my birthday is on my March 7th of this month. And
Uh-huh.
one of my other my sister-in-law's birthday is on March 11th. They did it again. They
Uh,
they served as like a delicious dinner on that day.
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that idea.
And they went my nephew also went there and clicked pictures, and he played with that kids.
That's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
they really loved my nephew.
That's nice. It's good for your nephew to see other people's
Yes.
uh, that are that he's not used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that this isn't it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. His smiles, and I saw video clips of him playing with those kids, and I'm really I miss that moment. I should be there.
Yeah. Enough to draw you back, maybe, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right. Well,
So
anything else?
that's it. But you saw my first interviews, the interview that I did with you, and right now we had conversation with you. What's the difference you really felt like you really saw in me?
Um, you you've changed so much more in the self-confidence of just being yourself and allowing who you are inside to come through, because I could see this beautiful thing inside, and you were at first obviously nervous and afraid. Now it's just more of RJ coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not so structured. It's more of a conversation than an interview.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of forget which one we were having,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's the atmosphere that you want to pr- promote.
Yes.
You know, so it's all headed in the right direction for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of it has to do with your self confidence of believing in who you are and that you're okay with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that however it goes, it doesn't matter because you're not attached to the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That shine it shows. So
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
And what are your plans for the weekend?
Not much. You know, chores, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Trying to fit in my. I'm really trying to follow the workbook, and that requires different periods of time for different lengths of time
Okay.
throughout the day. So I'm trying to hone that schedule. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
commit to actually doing it more or following it. I'm not going to tell you I'm following it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly because I'm not there yet, but
Mm.
I'm more that way. So
And any fun activities?
mm, no, it's not this weekend.
Okay.
Well, it's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. How is Shannon? She is
She's
your she is your rock star.
she is
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes.
She is the number one in my life.
Yes.
I have to remind myself that I need to put God first and then Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's wonderful. I'm very blessed with Shannon. She's an amazing partner in life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very blessed to have her.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
Good day.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.